This ain't your everyday tactical carry. This is the Myerchin Rigging knife, and came from Myerchin. Wanted to show it off. My grandmother just gave it to me for the new year, and I wanted to tell you guys about it. So this knife right here, I got it as a gift, and I just wanted to say Happy New Year to you guys.
I'd like to say Happy New Year to you guys as well. We've reviewed all the likes, comments, and subscribers that we've had throughout the last year, and so far we have 11 subscribers. We plan to get that number up to 50 this year. So that's one of our goals this year, and we'd just like to say thank you guys.
So I haven't seen that many reviews on this knife on YouTube. I've seen about 5 on this specific knife itself, and that was over the period of the past 5 years. Like the last video was 2 years ago. So I wanted to talk about this knife. What could we use a serrated blade for?
That is a good question. There's many ways we could possibly use it over here at the Midwest. You know, it's I mean, they are built for mainly for harsh marine environments, and they are both available in both folding and fixed blade models with a variety of handle materials. But I think with the use for this knife in the Midwest, I feel like it'd be used for like wood or like fish, cutting fish during fishing season during the spring, summer, maybe the fall, depending on the weather.
What about if you're like mowing a lawn and you got to cut it like a tough root or a weed that's out of the way? Wouldn't that be a good use for it?
Yep, that and also like if a rope gets in the way and
Or what if you're wearing a seatbelt?
yeah, and if the seatbelt gets caught, you can just pull that out and just cut it out.
And as long as it's attached, you'll be able to reach it within a pretty good length.
Exactly. And it's a one hand opening. It's designed for safety and ease of use in difficult conditions. The knives feature an elongated thumb hole, or some people call it pro assist open tab for easy one handed opening. That's for
The
the
folding model.
folding models, but luckily this is not a folding model.
Yeah, this is a fixed blade, so it has the full tang all the way down. Really nice.
I like the titanium.
I don't think it's titanium. I think it's pro marine stainless steel. It's pro marine stainless steel.
Okay.
So this one has jimping, and there's also 01659 Myerchin right here, Myerchin, and then there's a whale right there on the knife as well.
That's the first thing I noticed when you first showed me that knife was the whale. I really like how they etched that on the blade.
Yeah, it looks really good. So there's the Gen 2 stamping as well. Well, not stamping, but whatever, laser engraved, whatever, however you want to call it. Whatever they did to put the markings on there.
And I believe that's the new generation 2.
Yeah,
Because there's the generation 2 and then there's the new generation 2.
yeah, I think this is the new generation 2 because it's from the past couple of years.
Yeah. And
So
because the old generations, they had titanium steel. But
yeah,
on this one it has pro marine stainless.
and then on the Gen 1s, which me and my grandmother don't have, on the Gen 1s they have Japan made steel. So that's pretty cool as well. Something else that I'd like to talk about is that this was used in service on the Calamar Nickel on the East Coast in Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware. And I thought that was really cool because, my grandmother has put in 20 years of service and she has an angel face on the boat. So she's done her time to, the community and helped out with the sailing and has been dedicated to it. So she got one of these knives for herself, and a lot of her crew has these knives. And she states that a lot of it is just comes down to rope tying and cutting. That's what the primary use is for this tool. Now, we've talked about the primary uses. Houston has talked about some of the things that's come up. This is what I personally think a serrated blade should be used for. This is what I think this blade has to offer. I think that it has to offer a 1/4 inch blade in the beginning, so that helps with letter opening, cutting, etc. You can use this as a steak knife. You can use this for cutting vegetables, and you can use this for everything else along with food prep. It's just going to be a little bit more jagged. That's the only thing. So, the other thing that it can be used for is opening cardboard boxes. A lot of people don't realize that, but this, if you're not trying to get an accurate cut and you're just trying to break down boxes and that's what your job is, like let's say you're working a factory, you need to bust out a box and you need to put your plastic pieces into the conveyor or whatever, or the hopper, and you need to get all of your pieces together. Well, this knife could help out with cutting down all those boxes, straps, and things that get in the way when you're trying to put those materials in the hopper or whatever use you're using in a factory if you're allowed to carry a knife.
That's right. And I also like how it comes with a marlin spike too. And the marlin spike is a pointed metal tool. It's shaped like a tapered cone, and it's used primarily in nautical rope work for separating rope strands during splicing, untying stubborn knots, tightening hitches, like the marlin spike hitch, and you know, forming toggles or handles, essential for sailors, riggers, and outdoor enthusiasts for working with, natural, synthetic, and wire ropes.
So another thing you can do with this is you can put it in the eye of the knife, and you can use this to adjust the front point of the marlin spike. And another thing is you can also use the eye to use as a shackle tool, and you can open and close shackles with this. When you have a shackle nut and it's closed, you can use this to open it. So we have both marine and non-marine uses for this. But specifically in the Midwest, when I go camping, I really enjoyed that SDOK EDC knife I have, and I'm not giving it up. I'm actually going to buy a second one. But the thing is that that knife is very cheap. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care about it that much. But not only was this knife a gift, it's also very expensive. So I care about this knife a lot. And for one, it can't pick up a cast iron. So that cuts off the one of the uses that I would say is a good use for a camp knife. A lot of the times when I'm using a camp knife, I'm using it for batoning, slicing things, and just general use like that. Eventually, there's going to be a divot in my knife where that is, and I'll just probably end up using the front 3/4 of the blade and not sharpen that last quarter. You know what I'm saying? And I'm okay with that. But this knife specifically, I also thought you could use it for self-defense, not stabbing. You're not going to stab anybody. You know what I mean? But what you are going to do is you're going to be able to go down and you're going to be able to slice. If you're able to slice and pull, you see what I'm saying? You can do a lot of damage. So there's a lot that comes from a serrated blade, both in defense and also in the work field. And that's what I think a serrated blade should be used for. Now I want to talk about the sheath a little bit, if that's all right. I just wanted to talk about that I really love that it had this eye. It has the rivets on here to keep this really nice together. And the leather is a really high quality leather. Like this came out really nice. And I would assume so because they plan on having you use this in marine use. So this had to have come from maybe a deer or a really nice cow or something. I'm not exactly sure what the hide is, but it is a very high quality hide with a whale embossed on the front of it, and it's just very nice. It has a spot for the marlin spike. Um, I just think that it's a very high quality sheath. One thing that I always gripe about with my sheaths is can it fall out? And the sad truth of it is yes, it can fall out. However, because it has the string, it can just dangle. So if it's on your leg, it's only about a foot away. And when I'm using it, if you have it on the side of yourself like this, like let's say this is your side, you can go out about this far, about a foot, and you're still able to do full access cuts and everything that you need to do. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
I really find it interesting too, knowing all the facts about this knife and figuring out what uses are for it and whatnot, and figuring out what uses we can use for it here in the Midwest.
Without sailing. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? What if we're not driving a sailboat, if we're not riding a sailboat, how can we use this knife in our everyday carry?
We can use it in a fishing boat.
Yeah, we could use it in a fishing boat. We could use it on the bank, like you said. And we got some other opportunities like self-defense, cutting boxes, using it in factories and warehouses.
Even cutting the tops of the boxes off, the flaps of the box, if you just want the box open, like just have an open box.
And because it's not fully serrated, you can still get nice cuts. Like if you're trying to cut out that tape, you can still cut out that tape, and you'll be able to cut it out because it's nice and has the solid blade on the front.
Kind of like a box cutter blade.
Yeah.
Like a standard box cutter blade.
Yeah.
I like that feature too.
So, well, I don't think I have anything left to talk about except for the fact that I really like this handle. That's the last thing we didn't talk about. And I'd really like to talk about the ergonomics of the handle. I get old timer knives occasionally here and there, and they're 7ZR17, and the polymer handles aren't made like they're used to. But, I mean, come on, it's a $7 knife. You know what I'm saying? And it looks pretty alright. But the problem that I have is, when I sand them down, the die goes away. It's not G10, it's plastic. So you end up seeing the plastic underneath. And that sucks. But, what's cool about this is that it's G10 micarta. It's layered. So as you wear this down, you'll still see the black. And if you ever do break these, they have screws on them so you can replace the scales. So I thought that was really interesting.
That is very interesting. Well, if you guys have any comments about these type of knives, or if you like to get one or are interested in one, you can probably find them on Amazon or eBay.
For about $20 less.
$20 or less, like he said. But if you guys like this video, please leave a like. If you want to leave a comment, please leave a comment. And if you want to subscribe, please subscribe.
Well, this ain't your everyday tactical carry. This was the rigging knife video. And I hope that you guys got a kick out of it. Have an excellent day.